So I just thought it would be fitting to start this podcast, show, whatever you want to call it. I want to start it off by talking about breakfast because breakfast, they say, is the most important meal of the day. Well, it is the most important meal of the day. But the issue is that they tell us that as soon as we wake up, we need to eat breakfast because it's so important. It's not the most important meal because you need to eat it right away. It's the most important meal because you need to have discipline in when you eat breakfast. You definitely should never eat breakfast until you have gone at least 16 hours with no food because your body needs to clean itself out. That's why they call it breakfast. It's called breaking fast. And a fast takes at least 16 hours to start for your body to enter a state of autophagia. So that's when your body starts healing itself. They want us to be sick. They want us to need their medicine. They want us to use their doctors because they make tons of money off that. It's a $1 trillion industry. Pharmaceutical industries. We all know that pharmaceuticals are not good for us. We all know that if we go to a mechanic, we bring our car, what they're going to do is they're going to diagnose our vehicle. So they're going to open up the hood, they're going to look in it, and they're going to find everything that's wrong with it for them to make money by charging you for a service that they provide to fix anything that's wrong with your vehicle. Well, the same system goes with doctors. They're trained to find anything that's wrong with you and whatever their area of expertise is. And if it's out of their area of expertise, they're going to refer you to another professional that they work with that has that area of expertise because they want things to be wrong with you. And if something's wrong with you, what they're going to do is they're going to go by their book that they were trained by in their education, and they're going to tell you what their solution is. But what the problem is their solutions only deal with whatever symptoms you're facing. They're not going to get rid of your problem. They're just going to get rid of your symptoms. So it seems like you don't have a problem. And you're going to think that they're fixing you, but they're not fixing you. If you really want to get rid of a problem, you have to go to the underlying problem, the reason that you have that problem in the first place. Okay? So if I get, a black mark on my face, or let's say even a zit on my face, I'm not going to put something over it to cover it up. It's still there. Yeah, someone doesn't see it, but it's still there. So what I'd have to do is I'd have to either wipe off the black mark, or I'd have to figure out why I have that zit, and I would have to change what I'm doing to not get that zit in the first place. What they're going to do is they're going to give you a cream that's going to go on the zit, and that cream is going to have chemicals in it, and those chemicals are going to go in your skin. If they give you a prescription medication, that medication is going to go into your body, and there's going to be tons of toxins and chemicals, and those chemicals are going to cause a reaction, a chemical reaction by your body. Those chemical reactions cause more symptoms for your body to have. And those symptoms, they go to your mind, body, soul, everything. And if you can get rid of those symptoms, great. But then you're still going to have a problem. You have to get rid of the problem. So in order to start getting rid of your problems, you have to think about everything that you come in contact with and your discipline and how you eat, because your diet is everything. And that's why breakfast is so important. Breakfast is so important because it's important to have discipline and understand what breakfast is. Breakfast is breaking a fast. So what I do is I make sure I go at least 16 hours. So at nighttime, I don't eat after 7 o'clock. So if I eat the last thing that I ate at 7 o'clock p.m., So I'm going to go 7 a.m. would be 12 hours, 11, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 a.m. will be 16 hours. Usually I won't eat until 2 or 3 p.m. And I feel absolutely fantastic because I go so long without eating that my body goes into a state of autophagy, or whatever the word is, autophagia, autophagy, and it starts healing itself. And when it starts healing itself, it does a better job than any doctor in the world. No doctor can heal your body better than your body. You know, this world, it was created perfectly. We were created perfectly. We were created with a body that serves itself. But what's happening is we're being distracted by everything on TV and the media and education, and those distractions are causing us to not pay any attention to the things that we need to pay attention to, like the food we eat. So I've learned a lot about changing my diet because I have people around me, and those people around me all eat a certain way. 1 second. So those people around me, they only eat a certain way. So now I can't even like go out, you know, someone says, hey, you want to go out and get a drink? I'm like, no. Why would I go out and get a drink? I wouldn't consume alcohol. But to that person, they're thinking they are doing it in a way that's kind of social, you know, like, hey, you know, you're my friend. I care about you. Let's go out and have a drink. And my new way of thinking is like, well, if you care about me, why would you want me to have a drink? Because alcohol is poison. And then I have other people around me that are like, you're extreme. You know, you're crazy. You can't think of things like that. You got to enjoy life. But then I think back about how I was living my life before I started the changes that I started. And I wasn't enjoying it. I was miserable. I had anxiety every single day, multiple times a day, because I was getting older. I was getting to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I'm at the age now where I could have a heart attack. So I have to worry about having a heart attack. And I'd have panic attacks because of it. Because I was 265 pounds. I was overweight. You know, and that was a year and a half ago. And now I'm 175 pounds. I've lost all that weight, and it was so easy. All I had to do was eat healthy. But it wasn't just like, oh, eat healthy. A lot of people just switch their diet and they want to go eat healthy, but then they go back to their old diet because they don't know how to solve the problem. The problem is that in their mind, they think, oh, I'm going to change my diet to lose weight, instead of thinking about why you're changing your diet, because you want to avoid all those foods that they're feeding you. They're feeding you so many horrible foods, and their foods have all these chemicals in them. A lot of them are processed. A lot of them are not even food. They're just chemicals. You might as well be doing drugs. And a lot of those foods cause bad chemical reactions in your body, you know, and they also cause your mind to not work as well, your body to not work as well. And because you're eating over and over and over, every time you feel hungry, you're eating. So now you're basically, your body's never healing itself. So you're always basically just tired, bogged down. And since I've been starting to take long periods in between meals, like I basically only eat once a day. I eat between like 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. And I eat organic. I eat vegetables, fruit, salad, whatever. And I'm careful about what I eat. And I do have a disclosure that I do eat Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And I haven't been able to put that down yet. So nobody's perfect. You're not going to be perfect. It's okay to say, you know what, I'm not perfect. I do have this crutch. I do eat this one food that I haven't been able to put down yet, but I plan on not eating Ben & Jerry's forever. At some point, I'm going to put it down. But I just haven't done that yet. And, you know, don't beat yourself up over things like that. You know, for the first 8-9 months, maybe the first year, I was smoking cigarettes. But I quit smoking cigarettes. It took, you know, I had to realize that I don't want to smoke. I don't want to smoke cigarettes. Why am I smoking cigarettes? Why am I spending money on these stupid cigarettes that aren't doing anything for me but making me stink? Like the world has put us in this box where you have to have all these things, and they get us addicted to all these things, like cigarettes, like food, like alcohol. They get us addicted to TV shows. They get us addicted to music. They get us addicted to celebrities, and they have us worshiping and idolizing celebrities, because they just want us distracted. They want us to not pay attention to what we need to pay attention to. And what we need to pay attention to is how we eat, how we think, how we live, and thinking back of all the anxiety attacks I had, another thing that I had was I'd be just standing there. Like, since I was like in my mid-20s, I would always have like back problems. And, sometimes I would just be standing there. I'd be like, oh, my back. Oh, my back. Oh, no. And my back would like hurt for like 3 days, 4 days. I wouldn't even be doing anything. If I go to do the dishes manually by hand, then my lower back would hurt. Like, my back was always hurting. But when I started eating healthy and started fasting every single day and taking those 16-hour windows from my last meal the night before to breakfast, when I break my fast, my back is feeling better. My mind is feeling better. I feel more clear. I can think better. Like, everything is easier for me. And I'm actually happier now. I'm actually enjoying life a lot more than I was before, because I'm not having panic attacks anymore, because I'm healthy. I don't have to worry about I'm going to have a heart attack tomorrow because I'm fat and I eat a bunch of crappy food. Like, they don't teach us the things that they need to teach us. They teach us what they want us to know. They want us waking up, eating breakfast, and then they want us going to work or going to school, eating again, doing our job, being good, eating again, being hungry, smoking cigarettes on our break, going to the bathroom and sneaking doing drugs, being on prescription pills. And basically that just keeps us as a mess. And they want us using toothpaste that has fluoride in it. Fluoridated toothpaste, fluoride, which is a poison. If you look on the back of a toothpaste package, it literally says, if more than the amount used for brushing is swallowed, contact a poison control center immediately. So what does that tell you? It's poison. If you get non-fluoride toothpaste and look at the back, it doesn't say that. What's the difference? There's no fluoride. So that's why it doesn't warn you to call the poison control center. When our mouth absorbs things more so than anything else. I don't know if it's like osmosis or whatever. So basically, any chemical that's smaller than the opening or the pore or whatever, the opening is going to fit through. If it fits through, it's going to go through. So they're giving us these products that have very, 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 very small chemicals. And those chemicals all absorb through our skin. Our skin is the biggest organ we have. So anything we touch, like our clothes have a certain frequency, and our clothes are made, and a lot of clothes that they sell us have chemicals. And those chemicals seep into our pores, especially if we get hot and our pores open up. Now got all these chemicals going into us. We wonder why we're all screwed up. We wonder why, we can't get out of our own way, and everybody's going to the doctor and having things wrong with them, and they got this disease and that disease and this disease and that disease, and, this person died, and that person died of cancer, and that person died of a drug overdose. It's happening everywhere. Like, this person just had a heart attack. It's crazy. When you look around you and you think about it, you're like, damn. And like, since I've started doing the right thing and eating right and thinking right, I've started noticing so much about other people. And I'm literally like at the point where I'm like, oh my goodness, nobody fucking knows anything about anything. Nobody knows shit. So I'm like an information junkie. So I have to learn. If something piques my interest, I have to learn about it. So basically my job is to I'll do all the work. I will do all the learning. I want you to learn too. I actually recommend that you do your own research and do your own learning. Never take anybody's word, ever. Do your own research. Take your own real life experience into consideration and just think about things, and use your head. Don't ever think that something's true just because you see it on TV or just because you learned it in school. Like, there's a lot of lies. Lots of lies. Lies, 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 lies. Lies everywhere. They're basically creating a false reality for us. And they have us doing all this shit, eating at the wrong times, eating the wrong foods, and not understanding the impact that it has on us. So at the end of the day, we're screwed unless we figure it out on our own. And the only way we're going to figure it out is if we pay attention to people that are putting in the work to figure it out. Like somebody that's putting in the work to figure it out, and sharing that with you, a lot of them are controlled opposition. So you have to watch out for controlled opposition, because they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, you shouldn't do this. You should do this. And then they'll try to sell you a product. Like anybody that's selling you something, they want you to buy their product. So it's like, can you really trust them? Like, how can I trust this person that just wants me to buy their product? Because now it's just a sales pitch. Can you trust a salesman? And just like the government needs us to believe them in order to justify the things that they spend money on. So they create this illusion that we need to spend this money on X, Y, and Z, and they actually create the problem so they can come up with a solution, and they'll probably take their cut out of it, whatever solution they have. It's like all these commercials on TV that are like, oh, you need to give $19 a month. It's less than $1 a day, and you can help this person and that person. Like, I wonder how much is actually going to that person. If I have $19 a month and I'm going to help somebody, I'm going to go out on the streets and I'm going to find somebody. I'm just going to give them $20 because I know 100% of that money went to somebody that needed it. Like, I'm not going to go through the TV. Like, that's a business. If you want to help somebody, just go help somebody. Help somebody Keep it local. Stop going to concerts for all these bands. You might like the band's music, but they're rich. They're just taking your money. And they're all puppets. They're Hollywood puppets. So, go find a local band that you like and support them. Go to their shows. We need to support each other as a community. And, we also need to share information. We also have to care about information. We can't sit there and be like, who gives a fuck? Who cares? Who cares if I eat breakfast as soon as I wake up? Well, you're going to care when you're older and you feel like shit every day and you can't even breathe and you can barely walk around because you're tired. And every time you wake up, you're like, you need WD-40 just to wake up. Why? Because of the food that you eat. When I go to sleep at night, I used to take, an hour or two to fall asleep. Since I've been eating healthy, I literally lay down and I fall right asleep the second I lay down. Within 5 minutes. Not even. Every time. Every single time. I don't have anxiety anymore. I'm not depressed anymore. And also, when I wake up, I feel refreshed. Because I didn't eat after 6 or 7 p.m. So I didn't go to sleep on a full stomach. So if you go to sleep on a full stomach, your body uses 80% of its energy, roughly, to digest food. So when you're sleeping, your body's supposed to be healing you. You're supposed to be, healing you and doing whatever it does while you're sleeping, repairing you. And if you go to sleep on a full stomach, then your body is using its energy to digest the food instead of using its energy to heal you and repair you. So that's why they have all these food indoctrinations where they're like, oh, don't go to sleep on an empty stomach. Yo, you're going to go to sleep hungry. Don't go to sleep hungry. My kids never go to sleep hungry. And then you have all these parents, they love their kids. And because they love their kids and they've been indoctrinated, they're going to be like, they're going to make sure their kids don't go to bed hungry. They're going to make sure you eat before you go to bed. I don't want my kids going to bed hungry. But little do they know, they are literally hurting their kids. They're hurting their kids. That's bad parenting. It's not intentional. They're not bad people for it. They just don't know. And that's why I feel like I have to make this channel. I have to. I have to make this channel because I know too much, and I know that I've been jumping around a little bit, but I just wanted to give gloss over like a few of the things that I'm going to be getting into on this channel. So you and anybody you care about, if you want to share it, if they need help with anything, I'm probably going to talk about it because I'm going to talk about everything that makes life better, like from breakfast and the importance of fasting and walking outside barefoot, like grounding yourself, which is really important. We're all electrical beings, like I'm going to talk about the shape of the earth. I'm going to talk about whether it's a ball or whether it's flat. We're going to figure that out together. Like we're not going to sit there and say, that person's stupid because this is what they think. We're going to figure out what is it that they think? Why do they think that? Maybe they were indoctrinated. Somebody was indoctrinated because two people disagree, and I know a lot of people that think the earth is flat. I know a lot of people that think it's a ball. So it's not like I can say, well, it's definitely one thing or another, because it's something. It just, we don't know what it is because we've been lied to. We can't just sit there and assume that we were told the truth. Like all these companies like NASA are compartmentalized. So they're going to, just someone that could work at NASA think the earth's a ball and it's really not. And they don't even know. It's possible. There's people that, think about like a massacre that happens. If there's a massacre in, a shopping mall, there's a shooting. They could set it up because they want to control guns, and they also want to fearmonger, and they also want us to live in fear, and they want that fear. We live in we have an energy field around us, and it can be measured. And when we're in a state of love, that energy field is big. But when we're in a state of fear, that energy field is small. When the energy field is small, we're functioning at a lower vibrational frequency. And when we're functioning at a lower vibrational frequency, we're not maximizing our potential. If we're not maximizing our potential, we're literally never going to figure anything out. And we're going to be the robots that they want us to be. So you have to look past things. You have to lift the veil. And you have to see things for what they are. You have to be able to reverse engineer. You have to be able to say, is this absolutely the truth? Do I think it's the truth, or is it definitely the truth? So, we can talk about all that stuff. And I don't want to go into anything with I definitely know this or I definitely know that. I definitely know that I really don't know shit. All I do know is the few things that I know, and I'll talk about them. And there's a lot of things I want to know more about, and I'm going to be learning about those things, and I'll talk about those things too. But I just wanted to have a channel so, I know there's people out there that want to know the things that I want to know. And I know there's people out there that care about their children, and being a parent is important to them, and they want to know about the food. They want to know about the toys and the products and the videos they're watching, and the 5G. Is 5G really bad? We're going to find out. We're going to know everything. Everything we can possibly know, we're going to know. So we can be the best parents we can be. We're going to be the best friends we can be. We're going to be the best companions we can be. The best lovers we can be to our significant other, if you have one. I've been, I think, a way better significant other to my wife. She might not think so all the time. She might think I'm a little annoying sometimes because, I talk about this crazy stuff all the time. But, she knows I'm right about a lot of things. You know, she's not on board about every single thing, but if she brings some evidence to the table, I'll hear her out. You know, if she changes my mind, that's fine. I'm okay with changing my mind, because I'd rather be wrong and admit that I'm wrong than if I'm wrong and I admit I'm wrong, then I'm right, because I admitted I was wrong. But if you're wrong and you can't admit you're wrong, then you're wrong twice. So I don't want to be wrong twice. I want us both to be right. I don't want to argue and prove you wrong. I want us to have a conversation, and I want us to both be right. And that goes for everybody, you know? So I think there's a lot of ego with people that they're afraid to admit they're wrong. That's not me. So yeah, we just, you want to be better parents, whatever, better people. That's all fine and dandy. And I also know things that you can do as far as putting things into your diet that are going to make your life better. They're going to make you happier. I don't want to tell you how old I am, because I want it to be a surprise when it comes out. I want you to be like, whoa, that's his age? That's how old he is? Because I looked older 18 months ago, but I look younger now because I found the fountain of youth. And I want to talk to you about it. But I'm not going to tell you about it until you trust me. Once you trust me and I have a little bit of a following, I'm going to talk about the fountain of youth. Because I found it. I feel younger. I look younger. I feel great every day. And I want to share that. And the more people that know, the better this world's going to be. And I even want to talk about taxes. We can talk about taxes. We can talk about how we do have the ultimate power with the jury. The jury has the ultimate power. Because if someone doesn't pay their taxes and goes to court, now they go to trial. And those jurors are going to decide if they're guilty of failure to pay taxes or tax evasion or whatever. But if those jurors don't realize why this person's not paying their taxes, they might find him guilty. But if they realize that this person's not paying their taxes because they're tired of getting their money stolen from them from the government, who's shaking them down like the mafia, all we need is one juror to say, no, he's not guilty. He's not guilty. He's a good person. He works hard, takes care of his family. He doesn't want to be stolen from by a government that lies to him. You know what I mean? So there's tons of things, and what do you drink? You can eat healthy and all that and make distilled water at your house, but then go out and say, you know what, I'm going to get a coffee from the coffee shop. You get a coffee, and little do you know that they use local tap water or a local water source, and now you're drinking fluoride. So now you have to think about those things. You have to think about everything. There's so many things you have to think about, and we're going to nail them all. We're going to get them all down. We're going to figure it all out. We're going to have a whole plan on how to be the best person that we can be, So what I want you to do is, I want you to just start seeing things from a new lens. I want you to start looking at things from a new lens. Like, this person, they're trying to make money off me. The FDA, they're going to approve certain things. The Food and Drug Administration, they're going to approve certain things to be allowed in food. That doesn't mean that those things are good for you. A lot of the food that we eat is bad for us. And those companies are going to use cheap materials and cheap chemicals to make it easier for them to make money off us. And we're going to be the victims. And they're going to just get paid our money. We're literally paying them to make us sick. And then we're going to need doctors. And then we're going to need prescriptions. And then we're going to have more problems. We're going to have mental health problems because we're using prescriptions and we're eating the food. And the mental health problems are going to be bad, Like, you don't have to have any problems. You don't have to have any mental health problems. You don't have to have any food problems. Like, life is amazing. We were given everything that we needed, by our creator or whoever, whether you believe in God or Jesus, like, I'm cool with whatever you believe in. Everybody's going to have their own higher power. So, all right. So, yeah, this is it. This is my first video, and I just wanted to touch on a few subjects and just kind of just talk off the cuff and give a stream of consciousness and just see where it went so you can decide if you want to hear more. Okay, so There's obviously things I left out, but these are basically the things I'm going to go into depth about and go into more detail and break things down. All right. I hope you found your favorite YouTuber.